Hello guys, my name is Kieran, of course, from Red Devil Weekly, and we are here to preview United's last game of the season, and it's a huge one. It's absolutely huge. Of course, it's the FA Cup final, and to be honest with you, I'm not going to keep you too long. I'm just going to give you my prediction, go through how I think we're going to set up, and all that stuff that you guys like to see from match previews. Before we get into all that, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel as well, all that good stuff if you are new and if you do enjoy the content. But I'm just going to get straight into this one because, you know what, we don't have a lot of time. It's not even 24 hours until the event happens. I think, 3 o'clock on Sunday, so we're getting close to 12 hours from when I'm recording this, but we have the most up-to-date information and team news heading into this preview. And starting off with Man City, look, there's not a lot I can say about Man City other than they're bloody good at football. They are a bloody good football team, and that pains me to say it, but for a long time now, Man City have been a very decent football team. Maybe I'm underselling them a little bit there. Maybe it's the United channel. So listen, Man City obviously won the league this season. Arsenal put up a little bit of a challenge, but ultimately fell away in the end. And they were by far the best team in the country this season. I know, as I said, Arsenal fans might cut me for that, but you know, in the second half of the season to win 14, 15 games in a row, they just turned into God mode. They absolutely turned it on when it mattered, and Arsenal fell away. And, you know, City romped the league with 3 games to go. Didn't even have to play their game against Chelsea before they were crowned champions. So, credit where credit's due. City, we know they're a superb football side, and the benefit of that is that they've been able to rest players in their last couple of games. So their squad is going to be fully fit and raring to go heading into this FA Cup final. It also means they've had a lot more time to focus on this game. I think they've drawn and lost their last 2, so clearly the focus has been waning on the Premier League, which is fair enough considering they just won it. So clearly the players, and probably Guardiola himself, has been focusing solely on winning these last 2 games. And it's a massive one for City. FA Cup finals seem to be their bread and butter. Wembley finals seem to be their bread and butter, unfortunately. I know it's not what we want to hear, but you know, Pep Guardiola at Wembley, I think he's got a perfect record. I don't think he's been beaten at Wembley, apart from maybe last season. You idiot. Last season, obviously, he was knocked out of the semi-final against Liverpool, I want to say. I think Liverpool obviously went on to win the FA Cup last season. So they'll want to avenge that as well. That's another thing. You know, Man City will want to avenge that, defeat in last season's competition. And, you know, it's huge. It's just huge, isn't it? Let's be honest. In terms of their star players, Erling Haaland, when we played them at the Etihad, we kept him quiet at Old Trafford, but when we played them at the Etihad, he scored a hat-trick. Likewise, Phil Foden scored a hat-trick, although since then, he's kind of gone off the boil a little bit. Obviously, players like Jack Grealish, I think, is going to cause our fullbacks a lot of problems. Wan-Bissaka is going to have the game of his life, ladies and gentlemen, if we're going to come out with anything, honestly. He's going to have a virtuoso performance. Defensively, I think someone like Kyle Walker is massive for Man City, especially when you look at our threat mainly being through Marcus Rashford. Someone who, his main attribute is his pace, let's be honest, his pacing behind. So, it'd be a very obvious solution for Guardiola to put Walker on Rashford for this game. And we've seen Rashford in the past have good battles with Walker, sometimes coming out on top, other times being thwarted by him. So it'd be interesting to see how the two match up. And then obviously KDB, the MVP of this league, in my opinion, the best player in this league. Superb player. What a footballer. What a footballer. And he's someone who is always very difficult to contain. Someone who, when he's ticking, he makes Man City tick. And his connection with Erling Haaland this season has been one of the major reasons why City are where they are. I also have to say shout out to Bernardo Silva. He's someone who I wouldn't say is the most important player in City's team, but he scores in big games. He scores big goals in big occasions. And I wouldn't put it past him to get another one in this game tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon, wherever you're watching it. But Bernardo Silva, for me, is someone who is so important to that team. Rodri as well. I mean, I could list off the entire 11, let's be clear. So we know how good Man City are. They've had a wonderful season. Let's talk about Manchester United. Let's talk about the potential lineup that we could be going with. Now, the lineup I'm about to show you is not the lineup I'd actually want, but it's my predicted lineup. Usually when I do these previews, I always just try and get into the mind of Erik Ten Hag, and this is what I think will be in his mind. Some of you will like it, some of you won't like it. Here is what I've gone with, not that one, this one. So yeah, I've gone with De Gea in goal. Hopefully he has a good game for us. We need him to have a 10 out of 10 game for us, really, because he's going to be facing at least 20 shots, at least. Shaw, Varane, Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. That back four has been very, very, very solid, keeping clean sheets all over the place. Obviously in the Fulham game, it was disappointing. We didn't keep that clean sheet, poor defending from the corner. But I feel like, I'm happy with that back line. I think it's our strongest back line we can, and it has been pretty decent this season. I mean, more so at home. And away from home is a bit shaky, but I believe in this team. We have shown we can get clean sheets with that defence, so I'm hoping we can have another gladiator type performance from that back line. Would have loved to see Lisandro Martinez in this game, but I don't think he's going to be playing. I mean, I know he's not going to be playing. And I've gone with Casemiro, Fred and Bruno Fernandes as our midfield three. Obviously, notable admission from that is Christian Eriksen. I just feel like when you're playing against Man City, we have to concede that their midfield, De Bruyne, Rodri, Gundogan, is better than any midfield in the Premier League, probably. Arguably one of the best midfield, if not the best midfield three in world football. So we have to concede that we've got to be prepared to soak up a lot of pressure. And I feel like someone like Fred, who has had a lot of good games against Man City, next to Casemiro, is a solid base to work from. Bruno Fernandes, of course, created the joint most chances in the Premier League this season. Someone who's going to have to be on his A game if we are going to get anything from this final. And then I've gone with Marcus Rashford on that left-hand side, switching the wings at all times with Sancho. We'll be interchanging. No Garnacho from the start. I just feel like Garnacho is much more effective coming off the bench, although I hope we're not 4-0 down by that point. That's the only issue. And then I've gone with Wout Weghorst up front. I think Erik Ten Hag will be looking to have a number 9 up front. We're looking to have an outlet. And whether you think Weghorst is good enough or not, this is what I think Ten Hag's going to do. I think he is going to put his faith in Weghorst. Hopefully he can have a similar performance to that we saw in the Carabao Cup, that's it, the Carabao Cup final. I thought he played quite well in that game, especially in the first half. So if we could see that again, where he's, being physical, holding up the play, allowing us to keep some sort of possession, then that would really help us. But obviously, it's a team which is going to be the underdog, massive underdog going into this game. And realistically, if we're honest with ourselves, if we don't show up, or if Man City play as well as we know they can, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. We have to see every single one of those players playing at the optimum ability they can play. We have to see them wanting it as much as the fans. If they play like the fans would, if they have the same passion that we would if we were on the pitch, and they play with the quality that we've seen for most of the season. Yes, we've had some poor patches, but we just need to put in a gladiator type performance. That's all we can do. Sometimes in these games, it's not about the quality necessarily. It's about the mentality. Casemiro said it best when, finals aren't there to have, to play good football. It's about winning. Finals are there to be won. And I think that's what we've got to do in this game. We've got to try and win. Well, it goes without saying we've got to try and win it, but winning is the only important thing. No one's going to remember how we played in this final or, who scored the goals necessarily. It's about winning the game however we can. So we've got to take it like that, and I'm happy that we have got the likes of Casemiro and Varane and these guys that have won things. They've been there and done that. They know how to win in these nitty-gritty games. So, looking forward to it. It's a massive occasion. I know it's a Manchester derby and there's a lot of chance that we're going to get drubbed and we're going to see City go on and do a treble. But, listen, it's why you are a football fan. These are the sort of days you live for as football fans. Massive games, big rivalries, trophies at stake. There's not a lot you could want more than this, really. What more could you want is what I'm trying to say. But I'm going to give you my score prediction, and it's going to be an honest score prediction. Now, I know a lot of people say you shouldn't really predict losses. And I'm not saying I want this to happen. But if I'm completely honest, ladies and gentlemen, I think if we play unbelievably well, I think we nick it 1-0. If we don't play unbelievably well, I think we lose this game 3-1. And it's sad. It's sad. It's horrible just thinking about it. But I'm saying we lose the game 3-1. I just think City are so strong. They're too strong for us. I do think we'll get a goal. I actually think it'll play out very similarly to the 2011 Champions League final. If you remember that, you know it was 3-1 and it was a sad day. Hopefully I'm wrong. Fingers crossed I've got that completely wrong and this can be clipped up like I'm an absolute clown. But fingers crossed the players show the passion that the fans would have, and we know the fans are going to turn up at Wembley. It's going to be a huge occasion. And I'm greatly looking forward to it. But anyway, guys, that's my little video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And after this game, I will be doing a season review as well. Might even try and get some people on because I haven't had people on in a while. So I'll try and get some people on. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.